Good afternoon, fellow members of Soaring Society of Boulder and prospective members of the Soaring Society of Boulder. This short ground school is on the use of Soaring Society of Boulder's Flightlog program. This is the program that allows members to sign up to use the club gliders and or get tows from the club. This ground school, if you're not a member of SSB, Soaring Society of Boulder, or a prospective member, it isn't going to be very relevant to you. So I'd say you might want to go and check out some of the other presentations on this YouTube channel. But for those of you who plan to use SSB gliders or tows, it's pretty important, and everyone should know how to use this this software. So I'm just going to kind of walk through it, and just we'll jump right into it here. Before I talk a little bit about it, though, the Flightlog software was developed in-house by some of our very talented members who know computers and software pretty well. I'm not going to name them because there were a few, and I don't want to omit anybody, but this was a club effort, and we're very grateful for it. It works quite well, and so at any rate, let's go ahead and see what we have here. So I'll put on the screen sharing. So if you go to the website, it's ssb.michirado.com /flightlog/login/all. It can be accessed from the soarboulder.org, our website, the club's website. There's a link to it. That's the easier way to get to it until you've bookmarked it. But at any rate, you have to put in your email and your password, and then we can hit log on. Notice that at the very top, we're showing some notices. And first of all, we have the names of the ship managers along with their billing initials. And when you look up members on Flightlog, you have to go by billing initials. That's easier. So we can see who they are, who the facilities manager is, how to get on to the webcams. The webcam is at the shack, and it shows real-time webcam of what's going on the field in front of the shack. It also gives some other notices. For instance, here it's showing that 3 Sierra Golf is offline, awaiting a landing gear check. So first of all, if you want to make a reservation, the first thing you have to do is go to New, and then Flight. And so let's say for this one, we want to say we're going to do it today. And the glider, let's say we're going to rent the ASK 21. Now, if it's instruction, which it might often be, then you have to put in yes. And I'm just going to pick a name here. Pick the first one that comes up, and then put in the instructor. I'll put in myself. And then you say, well, I want to book that at 10 in the morning. Well, really, we start these at 9, and I'm going to go through what that. So at 9 in the morning, and we're going to want the glider for 2 hours. So 9 to 11. The tow plane, we don't know who is going to show up to tow. So for now, we don't have to worry about putting that in, but we'll save it. So that shows now you can only reserve one club aircraft at a time. So if the AAM member, once he or she logs that flight, then he can make another reservation. He or she can make another reservation. So let's suppose this flight is made. They go out, we go out and we fly. We have to put in our time. So we've come back. We've done, say, 3 flights. So we come back, we edit the first one, and let's say the first flight we did was 0.4. So we put that in. You come down, you press save, and then there it is. Now, to make it easier, because there's 2 more flights, there's this nice little duplicate button or link. So we'll hit duplicate. And we see the names are in there, the flight. And let's say that one was only 0.2. We just did a pattern tow. Oops. And then you got to go over here, go down to here, hit save anyway, because the tow pilot hasn't put in in this scenario, the tow pilot hasn't put in the height. And so we'll just duplicate it again for our 3rd flight, which let's say was a real short one, 0.1, probably a low release or something. We go down and we hit save anyway. Now, AAM, person who has the AAM billing initial, can now log another flight, whereas that person would not have been able to log another flight until these are logged. These are logged out. The tow pilot needs to come along and put in the altitudes. The glider pilot must not put in the tow height releases, even if you think you know what it is, because the tow pilot keeps a log in the aircraft, and that log each month that log gets matched to what's on Flightlog. And if those numbers don't match, then it creates a billing problem for the club. So let the tow pilot put in that. You can only log one at a time, one reservation at a time. Once you're done with that reservation, and either you fly it and you log it, or you cancel it, then you can make another log. Another feature here is the 30 days. So I'm logged in, so I can see the last 30 days of activity, and notice since I'm the one logged in here, my activity is highlighted. But these flights are shown sometimes with comments, sometimes not, but you can see how much activity there was in the last 30 days, what yours was, etc. So we go back up here, we'll click off of the 30 days, close the 30-day, and then reports and admin. Now on the reports and admin, there's a few things that we have. One is the details, and that gives name, address, billing initials, whether glider pilot, instructor, tow pilot, address, phone numbers. And the full flight log is also available under this pilot report. Now, here's all the other pilots who are in Flightlog, and so you could go to any one of those and get, say, the details of their name and where their billing initials and all that, phone numbers, email address, that sort of thing, so that you can look up any member. And you have to have your own password, so only members can get at that. If I go back to my own here, so I'm not showing anybody else's data, and I go to the full flight log, I can see my flight log for the amount of time that I've been a club member, and we've had flight log. So you can even go down to the bottom here. I do quite a bit of flights, as you can see. But if you go way down to the bottom, it gives your totals. So 881 flights, 315 glider hours, 1,927,000 feet of tow height, 567 instructor flights. So there's a lot of information in that. Maybe not all that you need to know, but it's all there. One, whoops, so I got to close this. So let's go back here. Also on here is endorsements. Now I can't endorse myself, so I've got to pick somebody else to endorse here. So I go to the details, and here's endorsements. So annual checks, all that. Your instructor will do your endorsements. So that's in there. The aircraft summary, I don't know. I think that's something that's just really not used much. Here, I'll go back to my own, so I'm not showing anybody else's data. Flight summary is also something that doesn't seem to be in use, and endorsement summary doesn't seem to be in use either, but it's there, and we may need to use it. This new member, that's something that shows up in the instructor, so that we can sign up an instructor can sign up a new member. If you were making a reservation, and let's say I'm going to make a reservation today, or let's say I'm going to make it for, let's see when we're going to have some activity here. Let's say Saturday or Sunday the 3rd. I think that's, and I might select non-club, and I'm going to want, that means my own glider, or it could be or somebody else's glider, but I mean, typically the non-club will be, and let's say I want to go at noon, and all I need half an hour, because all I want is a tow. So I'm just showing a tow, and I'm going to save that. Now, we'll see it on the reservation here. So there's some other members who are signed up to go soaring. Now, from 9 to 11 on weekends, especially, that is training time. And from 11 on, we have a tow list. So if I wanted to get, you cannot get on the tow list from your computer at home. You can either get on the tow list from the computer that's in the shack, or if you have it on your phone or something and you're using the Wi-Fi off the shack, then you can get to your thing. So what I would do is, let's say I get to the shack on Sunday morning and I want to get on the tow list. So notice it's not here because I'm not at the shack right now. But I took some pictures of what will come up on this screen when you go to edit your reservation and say you want to be on the tow list. So I'm showing it here, and you can see it says preparing, and this only comes up at the shack or off the email or off the Wi-Fi for the shack. So I'm putting in ready for tow, which means I'm on the tow list. And this is done sequentially. So the pilot that gets there at, 8 o'clock in the morning, gets on the tow list, he's going to be the first on the tow list. He or she is going to be the first on the tow list. The next pilot will be next, and so in each order. And if there's 6 or 7, and that can happen, then that 7th pilot will be a ways down the tow list. Here's what it looks like after everyone is signed up for tow. You can see that down here it's showing these pilots are not on the tow list yet. These pilots have signed in and are doing their flight prep, and these pilots have done their flight prep and they're ready for tow. That's the tow list. So the tow list starts at 11 o'clock when the training time is over. Training time's 9 to 11. And from 11 on, pilots who want to get tows to go soaring can get prioritized depending on when they sign up. That is kind of the bulk of the flight log. It is a good system. It does take a little while to learn. I think it's pretty intuitive, but there is a little bit of a learning curve and a couple gotchas, like you can't schedule multiple reservations. You can only have one reservation at a time. So please keep that in mind. If you have questions on how to use this, find an instructor at the field. But hopefully this presentation will help everybody use Flightlog a little bit better. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good flight.